Hey everyone, welcome to week 13, day 5, last day of our gouache week. I think it's been a super productive week. I have to admit, this is very difficult for me. It's not like I've conquered this fear of gouache. I think a technique, as much as you know about one type of painting, it doesn't mean that you can totally understand another type of painting. I can sense what I have to do. I just don't have the discipline really to do it well. So this whole week has been just me trying to kind of find my way and be a recipient to what the technique has been telling me. So I'm liking it, but I still do feel a little insecure about it. In my mind, I'm telling myself, just put more paint down, put more color down, make better decisions, cleaner decisions. But I am a very muted, kind of dirty painter. It's been difficult. So it has been a very, very amazing learning experience. And I'm very happy I'm giving myself the chance to do that. And let's see if we can finish this week strong. So let's do this. And next week, again, we're going to be here. We're always going to be here for you guys. It's a privilege for us, and I really speak this from the heart. It's a privilege for us to be your company. So, thank you. Okay, let's get started. It's become a small tradition, but I think it's good to do a small recap of what happened yesterday. And it actually helps me to try and verbalize those experiences and to try and see if I learned the right things. So it's always cool, and I always tell people to try and evaluate a painting experience. By doing so, we don't judge it as useless or pointless if the end result wasn't something that we were happy about. Many times when we try and investigate what went on during the painting session, how we tried to resolve certain things, the decisions that we made, when we do that, when we reflect upon those things, then suddenly a painting that we may have at first deemed as a failure suddenly becomes a learning experience. And I think that that's the most powerful thing that painting every day, it doesn't matter if you call it a sketch, it doesn't matter if you call it a study, it doesn't matter if you spend half an hour on something or if you spend 6 hours on something. Essentially, the core of what you're doing is just trying to teach yourself something. Sometimes we're blinded by the fact that the image has so much power over that experience that we try to put it at the top of the hierarchy, when in reality, the painting that is produced in the end of the act of painting, it's almost like a byproduct. It's just this natural happening of this act of self-reflection. The thing is, we do it with paint, and so we end up creating this painting, but I think that if we only judge our life in terms of how many great paintings or amazing paintings or extraordinary paintings we did and how big they were and how much impact they had on a show or how much they sold for, then we are underselling ourselves, and we have been sort of blinded by the most obvious aspects of doing painting for a living, which is that, you're going to make paintings and you're probably going to sell them, and at times you're probably going to sell them for a bit of money, and then at times you're going to sell them for less money, and that's about it. There shouldn't be any pride in that, to be honest. But I think that the most valuable aspect of just doing something repeatedly, and not repeatedly to an extent that you become sort of insensitive, you desensitize yourself to the benefits that it can offer you. You are almost deaf to everything that the painting itself is trying to tell you. No, we do it repeatedly just so that we can have awareness of it. And that constant awareness is our best teaching tool. That's what we're going to have for the rest of our lives. If we just put all the pressure on ourselves to make masterpieces, then it's almost going to be an unmanageable load on our shoulders. Just to think that every single time we sit down, we have to make these amazing pieces of art that are going to, shake the foundation of the art world, that are going to have an effect on society. I just think that that's too much. A lot of people think of their legacy before they pick up a brush. That's just way, way too much weight to try to carry on one's shoulders. So I always tell people that it doesn't matter that a sketch, if you want to call it a sketch, to me, they're all just painting experiences. Some are shorter, some are longer. In essence, they are exactly the same. I have struggled a lifetime on a 5-minute drawing, and I've breezed through paintings that took 2 months to paint. There's nothing in art that tells you that working on a size or working for a length of time is going to have a specific effect on you or on the people that are going to end up observing your painting. There's no formula. There's absolutely no formula. I think that the truest thing about art and about making it relevant to your life is to find how it can accommodate to your everyday life, to your needs, to your necessities. If you have a partner, or if you have a family, or if you live by yourself but you have another job, you just need to find a space for it. But don't feel weird if that space is smaller than somebody who is a quote-unquote professional and is working 10 times as much. It doesn't lessen the beneficial effect that it can have on your life and on your outlook and on the way you perceive nature, and especially on what nature actually can teach you. This I want to make clear for everyone out there that feels that painting is something that should be done just by extraordinary people, and then the rest of us ordinary people are just there to be amused by it and to be in awe of it. No, I actually believe that painting is for the many. Painting is not for just the few people that are just astronomically blessed and that can paint with abilities that are beyond our comprehension. This is like running. This is like going out for a jog in the morning. And if you do that and if you feel great after that exercise, then that's amazing. That's what you need in your life. You don't need to run a marathon. And if you run a marathon, you don't need to just run it in under 2 hours. You don't need any of those things for it to be this amazing experience. In my honest opinion, I think that that's what painting should be. I think that sometimes we get sort of lost in the weeds and we think that this is something that other people do. This is something that when we want to go see it, we have to go into these very sacred places that are galleries and museums, and we have to behave in sort of unnatural ways. We have to keep quiet, and we have to put our hands behind our back, and we have to not get close to a painting. It's very strange. It's very, very strange how one of the most primitive acts, this desire to make, this desire to express through images, suddenly becomes anti-natural. We put it in a scene where we can't really behave as human beings in front of it. So this is something that is chained to us as a species, and yet we just made this ritual that is creating distance between artwork and human being, and I don't like that. I really don't. I have found that in my work, what I can do to try and lessen that feeling is to just have fun, to just be happy while I do stuff. If I feel completely whole when I do something, just very happy and always challenged, because I don't think painting is easy, and I don't think that there is not a single day that I've sat down to paint where I thought, oh, this is cake. This is a breeze. I'm going to do this in like 5 minutes and I'm done. No, it's always challenging. Always. I always have the most existential attack every time I sit down to paint. Every time I think, oh, this is not going to work. And I've been trying to not be aware of having a camera, trying to capture that anxiety attack that I'm having while painting, because then it would be pointless. Because I've come to the realization that that feeling is never going to go away. Never. And the only thing that I can do that's in my power is to just say, I have to live with it. I have to live with this sense that it's always going to be tough. It's always going to be hard. I'm always going to feel insecure about painting. Just yesterday, I was watching a Kim Jung-ji video of him doing a watercolor. And he was saying how he hadn't used watercolor for so many years. And he was doing this demo. But he was saying, okay, let me muster up enough courage to see if I can do this. And I was like, this is incredible. This is one of the people where you think of him as flawless. You think of him as, okay, that's the peak of the ability. He has the peak of drawing ability. He has this insane access to visual memory. And he can actually translate his visual memory into powerful drawing. you would think that he doesn't feel insecure anymore, but he was being very honest. It's almost like cute. It was almost adorable just to see him say, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me see if I have enough courage to do this." That was amazing. So these experiences for me, the way I think I ground them, the way I think I take the ritual aspect away from it and the adoration aspect away from them, paintings just feel like objects that belong to altarpieces. And I don't like that. I really think that it is in painting's benefit that we don't see it as such, that we just see it as this act, this really regular, normal act. And I've always equated it to just a regular job. Like a baker goes in the morning and bakes bread, and then that's what you get, bread. And a bricklayer starts laying bricks, and at the end of the day, there's a wall. And we wake up and paint, and at the end of the day, there's a painting. But honestly, bread, brick, and painting, they're the same. They're exactly the same. They shouldn't be higher or lower in some sort of weird cultural hierarchy level. So, like I said, the way I think I fight through those feelings, I fight through that tradition of seeing painting as something that's inaccessible, I just have fun with it. I really do. I really, really do. And the way I can have fun with it is just by making it kind of quirky. And again, it is challenging. So I'm also suffering. So this is very, very strange feeling. But I'm giving myself the chance to say, oh, I'm gonna have fun with this, and I'm gonna change these shapes, and I'm gonna push this color, and I'm gonna tweak this, and I'm gonna perhaps distort this. And I think that was, today with my mother, that was it. I elongated the painting. I did a huge sleeve. There's no arm on her on her left arm, the one that's on the right of the picture. It's just broken. It's absolutely broken. And it goes against, for example, this thing that I always heard that was repeated to me, that Howard Pyle said, that you shouldn't paint the folds in a jacket or in a shirt. You should paint the arm underneath the fold. The shape of that arm, the forms that configure that arm are the ones that are creating those folds. So you should be aware of the structure that's underneath, of the underlying structure when you do folds, and that makes total sense. That's absolutely true. But, at times you're like, I just want to do folds, and I just want to see them as rhythm and break that arm up. It doesn't matter. Like, who cares if that arm is just completely useless under there, and it makes no sense whatsoever. If you had fun just breaking those abstract shapes and then organizing them or reorganizing them, and they just feel cool and it just makes up for an exciting picture, then it works. Then it absolutely works. It doesn't matter. And that happens when it works. Like you end up with this smirk on your face. It's saying like, yeah, it worked. Hell yeah. But 9 out of 10 times you may be like, oh yeah, no, that didn't work. But you have to give yourself the chance. You have to grant yourself the opportunity to say, I want to see if it can work. I'm loving that this sleeve looks like a staircase, and it just looks like these blocks where you can kind of like jump from one platform to the other. And I like that aspect, that very abstract aspect of that sleeve. Let me see if I can push it. And that's about it. That's what makes the painting enjoyable. And I think it doesn't have to be labor, and it doesn't have to be cross that you have to bear. And it's almost like whenever you hear artists just working, it's almost like they're suffering. It's almost like they have chosen a life of suffering just to make these insane masterpieces. Like they were here on earth just to suffer through the act of making a masterpiece. My God, who wants that? I want to be happy with Danny. I want to be happy with my kids. I want to have a slice of pizza and smile. Whenever I die, I want to say, hell yeah, that was fun. If you ask me, would you rather be happy or not? I'd rather be happy my whole life. So, I mean, it sounds like bigger than painting, but I really think it is. It's just finding a way. It's finding a place for painting in your life where you can just let it help you, let it aid you in recognizing how you can find a sense of peace of mind, of happiness. So if you can achieve that while you're working, whew, I mean, my God, it doesn't matter. People could tell you, oh, that's crap, or oh, your work means nothing to me. It's like, well, it wasn't supposed to mean anything to you. I'm doing it just so I can be happy for a little bit, and I can be a better human being after making it. So I don't know. If it doesn't make you happy, then it's a shame, but it was never meant to do that. It was just meant to put a smile on my face, and then I can feel a little bit better about the nature of being me, about being human, about me being more compassionate, more observant. That's about it. What else is bigger than that? What else is more important than that, I feel? Not a painting, not creating a painting, not making a painting. So again, this has been an awesome week, I think, for me. I say this about every week, and I'm not just lessening the the importance, the relevance of every week, because they are. Every single week, I tell myself, okay, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to have heaps of fun, and I'm going to have a load of learning experiences doing this, and I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to see what I make tomorrow, because I almost never really do. I never have my mind set up on what I'm going to do one day to the next. So it's always exciting. It's always super, super, super exciting. That's what this week has meant for me. It's just the approximation of something that was foreign to me. And it's like traveling to a new country and meeting people with a different lifestyle. It's exactly the same when you just meet paint that behaves in a different manner, that has a different nature. You just have to eventually just open your arms and welcome it and say, okay, let me see, teach me. Let me see what this is about. And that's what this week has been. So it's been incredibly fun, incredibly rewarding. I loved it. I think I'm going to keep doing some gouache paintings. You know, I don't know if I could ever speak about pushing gouache because I don't know enough about it to push it. But yes, opening the doors so that I can feel like I am creating new relationships with my language. The way I understand life is through painting. So this is just broadening the little bit of understanding that I have. I love that about just giving yourself a chance to explore and to learn. And that is the end goal, not the painting. The painting, you could throw it away. You can give it to somebody who likes it. You could do anything you want with it. You could scrape it off, paint again. It doesn't matter. The painting may be gone. The experience, the underlying experience that came with doing it, that's never gone. That's always going to be there. Painting is just ephemeral. It will never last. But you can take with you and you can carry with you every single experience that you've gathered through painting. And guess what? You don't need to put those in a bag or in a carrying case. Those weigh nothing. Absolutely nothing. It is lightweight traveling. So that was it for this week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Next week, we'll have a new theme. We're going to be here. We're going to be your company if you let us. We are very grateful if you do. So I'll see you guys next week. Keep safe. If you can, stay inside. Bye. Thank you.